All right. Hey, everyone. Thanks for tuning in for my SPY preview slash review. It's really kind of the same thing. But anyway, I know a lot of people trade SPY, the S&P 500, and, they kind of don't understand the moving parts. Remember, the sum is the whole of its parts. Or I don't even know what the hell I'm trying to say. It's like in the SPY, there's 11 different sectors. In the S&P 500, there's 11 different sectors. Different things are in control at different times. And if you look at these sectors, you can kind of get a really good idea of what's going to happen with the S&P. Here is the S&P fact sheet, the SPY fact sheet, and this shows you the sectors, right? Tech is 31%, financials are about 13, healthcare is 12, consumer discretionary is about 10, communication services. So different ones are in control at different times. These smaller guys, energy, utilities, materials, real estate, they don't really have any effect because they're so small, but there's always trading ideas in them. So we always look at them. And consumer staples is small too, but sometimes when the market's about to go down, money flows into consumer staples. It's what we call the flight to safety. And energy is a very small part. All right, I'm going to date myself. Can you even believe when I first became a trader, energy was the biggest part of the market? Now it's like 4%. And it's, tech and communication services used to be the same thing. It would be 40% of the market. All right. So, anyway, let's go check it out. I think the market looks weak. I would be positioned to the short side. This was kind of a big reversal here in the S&P. Notice where it found support. And if you're a member of our community, people like they text me, they're like emailing me. I was like, oh, Mark, you make these incredible freaking calls. I made so much money, blah, blah. It's like, no, I don't. All right. Give me a break. The market lets us tell what to do. I don't tell you what to do. I just interpret things. Guess what? Levels that were resistance can convert into support. It's a common thing in markets. People sold here and they're like, oh, the market went lower. If it ever, people sell here, the market goes lower. They're like, oh, this is awesome. I'm going to be the next hedge fund genius. But then it goes higher. And a lot of the people that sold are like, this sucks. If I could buy my shares back at the same price, I will. So remorseful buyers, my God, I got this all confused. Remorseful sellers placing buy orders after the market goes up can convert resistance into support. It's not magic. It happens all the time. Price levels that were support can become resistance. Price levels that were resistance can become support. You know what? Let's move on into the tech sector. And I know you all want to hear about NVDA, but you know what? That comes last because I just want to show you how all these other things are like breaking down. I mean, look at this. This is the tech sector, okay? On the way down, what happens? Levels that were support become resistance. Support becomes resistance. Why? Well, in a down market, there's a lot of buyer's remorse. Buyer's remorse makes people who are traders or whatever, investors, they buy, the price goes lower, and they're like, oh, God, I made a mistake. If it ever gets at my price and I get out of break even, I'm going to. So in down markets, buyer's remorse turns support into resistance. You can see it here. You can see it here. Now, when markets are going up, it's the opposite. Seller's remorse. Seller's remorse can turn resistance into support. Like I just mentioned, people sell, the price goes higher, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, most of the market sucks. Okay. Here's what I want you to watch on Monday. And here's why I want you to come back and check us out at our morning call or whatever. We do a lot of we help people. We help people learn how to trade. I mean, that's pretty much it. We don't have any magic systems or whatever, holy grails. But Nvidia, like I've said, most of the market sucks. The only thing that's really been holding this up is Nvidia and Apple. Apple is the second biggest stock in the market, and Nvidia is the third, and they're starting to give way. So here's Nvidia. I did this in my newsletter last night. Reversal patterns. People are like, oh, it's this pattern, it's the head and shoulders, it's the triple Lindy, it's the round and top. It doesn't matter. What matters is the red team taking over from the blue team. I don't know. Looks to me like it is. Friday's close was lower than Thursday's close. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. I've been doing this long enough to know. I don't know, but I've also been doing this long enough to know that you got to stack the odds in your favor. And I think this is going down lower. Check this out. Look at where it found support on Friday, right at the level that had been resistance. Remember, I just said there's tends to be support at levels that were resistance. There are people that sold on the close here on last Friday that regret doing so. The thing blasts off and they're like, oh, if it gets back to my price, I'm going to buy my shares back. It's not a coincidence that this Friday, that's it right where the support level was. Levels that were resistance can turn into support. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Actually, you know what? Before I go, I mean, come on, make sure you sign up and send out all those things or whatever, notifications. Look at this action at Microsoft. I mean, this is like, pretty bad. There was a bit of a reversal pattern here. And some people might say, well, it's like the old sledgehammer. There might be some continuation. If we look at the pattern, look what happened. It opened here, got all the way down here, came all the way back. Maybe if the market was neutral or bullish, I would kind of think that's maybe the case, but markets act different at different times. And we are in such an inflationary environment. And the people that are running this country are freaking idiots. You know, I mean, they really are. It's probably the first time in my life I've ever been embarrassed to be an American. Well, at least, whatever. But anyway, there's going to be a lot of uncertainty. If Biden gets reelected, you might as well just cash out, and because we're going to be a socialist country at that point. But anyway, all right. So that's it. That's it, everybody. So please check in tomorrow morning, and I will see you then.